Just some quick opening remarks. Obviously very proud of not only the guys, played well, all three sides of the ball, prepared well. Really pleased with the coaching staff, how they approached this, the plan that they came up with on all three sides of the ball, and then the execution from the players. Attention, it was important to them. You could tell it was important to them. Georgia Southern's a tricky bunch. Never in my wildest dreams would I have guessed that we would beat them 44-0, shut them out because of what they do offensively. And defensively, they don't give up points like that very often. So overall, really proud of the guys. It was a good team win. Take some questions.
Do you have anybody on your staff that had experience against that offense, or did you have any connection that helped you?
No. Yeah, so we spent some time in the off season with some people that do it. Not going to mention anybody, but Tony went and saw a couple of people and came up with the plan and executed it pretty good. So very proud of him. He's done a great job since he's been here, and our defense is pretty motivated and excited. I'd say the leadership that we have on that side of the ball is showing, and hopefully will continue to as well.
What were some of the key components in what you did to neutralize what's a pretty tricky offense?
Well, I was listening to Gibby on the headsets a couple of times, and he was talking himself out of blitzing, because that's our nature is the blitz and attack, and you can't do that against these guys. You got to sit back and you got to read your keys and understand what your assignment is and do what we ask you to do. So the guys bought into it. We got very smart senior leaders, guys with a lot of experience. The D line, I doubt was credited with a lot of tackles, but they did a great job of holding gaps and holding double teams. Bruce Tall is doing a great job with those guys, and allows those linebackers and safeties to rally and make a lot of tackles.
And you said that you were going to withhold judgment until the lights came on your younger players. The lights came on and got some judgment now.
Yeah, I'm excited how those guys performed. To have two young receivers have over 1,000 yards the first game of the year with a new quarterback is exciting. So 5 is a player, 1's a player. Those guys can run. Told you they could run. Those guys can run. So, that we're going to ask them to do a lot more than just run fast and catch balls downfield. So they'll continue to get better. Their catches will continue to go up. And the timing aspect of it, I knew was going to be key. I was hoping we could get it together early. It looks to me like it was. He underthrew a couple of them, overthrew a couple of them. That's the timing aspect, the thing that only time can get you right. So we got something to build on.
Defensively, certainly with Carl Joseph's performance, could you address 4 turnovers created by him?
Yeah, I've never given anybody a game ball. I gave him one down there in the locker room. He's the inspirational leader of what we're doing. It's been fun to watch him mature and grow up. Been a great player he played over 3,000 snaps in 3 years, but for him to take the next step to truly be the inspirational leader on defense and the guy that I trust to stand in front of the room and talk and motivate, and he's a pretty motivated young man right now. Those weren't easy interceptions too, and it happened in one quarter. And I said, "Geez, what happens when when we're going against a passing team? What's going to happen then?" So, played well, played really good.
When you go to halftime, are you ticked at the red zone thing?
Yeah, I was mad. I was furious, and challenged our guys to. I yelled at him, and then I yelled at myself and said, "Well, I guess I forgot to tell you you're supposed to score." We called all these plays and executed it pretty good, but we didn't finish. We didn't finish those plays, so I got on them pretty good. And, Wendell finished a couple of runs, which looked really good. And I can't forget who all scored in the second half, but we did a better job of finishing those drives for touchdowns. 6 or 7. I don't know. The one when I went for it on 4th down. Yeah, I wished I could take that back. I got impatient. That was stupid. So we should have at least been 7 for 7. Josh did a good job in knocking the ball through, and that's going to happen, but we got to continue to focus on finishing drives with touchdowns.
Is that impatience, or would you like to see the offense have a 4th and 1?
Well, yeah, I mean, we got to be able to execute that as well, you know, so points are more important than proving a point. I should have kicked the field goal. That was an error on my part.
Sam, were you exaggerating when you said you've never given anyone a game ball before, or?
Well, I mean, we name players of the game, but usually we watch the film after the game, and we collectively as a offense and a defense and a special team give players of the game. We never give players of the game when we don't win. I think that probably makes sense to people. You know, and I thought it was appropriate based on what Carl has done, how he played, the turnovers. You know, turnovers has been something that we've been focusing pretty hard on. Well, how's 5-0 suit you? You know, so that made me pretty happy. So obviously giving him a game ball is something that's warranted, and then he turned around and gave it to the whole defense. So he's doing all the right things right now.
Speaking of the defense, did you, on the shutout, did you have any idea that, Tony had prepared that well, that the defense was ready to go? What, were you more, I know you said you were excited, were you more impressed with the defense after tonight?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be silly for me to say no. I know we have a good defense. We've talked about it. I've went against them. It's been frustrating on my part. I was happy to see the offense score 44 because there's been days where I didn't know if we'd be able to score any, going against these guys. So, well coached, all of them. There's great staff continuity. I mean, Bruce Tall has been huge. Joe DeForest is doing a great job at the safeties. Brian Mitchell's doing a great job at the corners. Damon Cogdale is an inspirational guy himself. And then Tony's doing a great job. So you couple that with confidence in 5th and 4th year seniors, you got something to build on. I've told them they just need to be consistent. They've played well in spurts last year. If we want to win a championship, then defensively we got to play more consistent, which is what we did for 4 quarters tonight.
How do you feel Skylar did overall? I mean, he really, got those yards in a lot of big chunks.
Yeah, I was happy with what he did. He was pretty calm. Overshot some throws. That's going to happen. He was 16 of 25 for 360, 0 picks. Didn't put the ball on the ground. Made a couple of plays in the run game with his feet. Thought he played well. He needs to continue to get better, and he needs to continue to manage the game the way that we want him to. But that kind of yardage and that many big plays and 0 turnovers probably win you some games.
Coach, how much growth do you see from your offense from training camp going into this first week, and how much more growth do you see that you take forward?
I was happy with the overall production. We sputtered at times, and it didn't look very good at times, but much like I told the defense, consistency is the key to their success. For us, getting better every week is the key to our success. We got to continue to get better. We're not where we need to be offensively right now. We're going to continue to get better. Guys are going to continue to emerge. We're going to figure out who needs to play what snaps and what they can bring to the table. So watching 5 different linemen go in there at the end of the game, we'll get closely evaluated to see what we can do with a depth perspective. Dante, I thought, ran well. William went in there and handled the offense good. So, we'll continue to evaluate that and continue to grow.
He wasn't challenged with distance kicks tonight. Is there many guys that you trust more than Josh Lambert? Because in the past that hasn't been totally consistent.
In what?
In field goals?
Talking about a Lou Groza finalist. I'd say he's pretty damn consistent.
Yeah.
One of the better kickers in the country. I was happy with what he did. He fought a small injury at the beginning of camp and was slow getting started. And we were worried at one point. So for him to not go 3 for 3 and knock it through there was the Josh that I know.
Jared Barber came out with an injury. Any idea?
His shoulder popped out and he popped back in. He was tough. At that point, we didn't need to put him back in. Other than that, I think we're 100% clean, which was a concern coming out of this game.
Talk about the improvement that you want to see in offensive execution or getting in the right play or
Timing in the pass game, making the proper run games and putting the ball where we need to in the run game. finishing runs, finishing blocks. It's all stuff that'll be key. These guys were good against the run. You know, they were one of the top teams in the country against the run last year, and we, you know, had 185. So I thought we ran the ball okay. We just got to continue to get better at it. Wendell came to life in the second half. He looked like the guy that I know.
When Skyler lost his helmet in that series after that Crest finish it, were you planning on giving him a series anyway?
I didn't. This was Skyler's team. I mean, Skyler's done great. I mean, our guys believe in him. He does what we need him to do. With that said, I'm going to coach the hell out of William and continue to coach him and give him reps and gain confidence. And, you know, the more he plays and the more confidence I have in him, the more opportunities that he's going to have to get out there and play. It was funny. I didn't even know Skyler's helmet popped off. And I kind of look in to give the play in there, and William's already in there with his helmet buckled up like this. So I thought, that's great. And then Skyler tapped me on the shoulder. I said, nah, you're good. And we just kept him in there. So he's going to continue to get better.
Then on